Formula One fans old and new, and welcome to Finding the Wall, a wholly unserious F1 podcast. I'm Jess, a new but extremely enthusiastic Formula One fan.
And I'm Gabe, whose 1992 Formula One Championship sticker album got ripped apart by my friend's Chihuahua.
Aww.
And I think that ruined Mauricio Gugelmin's career. I've been blaming myself.
It's your fault.
It's time to let it go.
Blame the Chihuahua.
I have blamed the Chihuahua, yeah. I left it outside, like on his backyard. And when I realized that it had been outside, I was like, oh, I want to go get it. But his mom was like, no, I'm not going to open the door.
Wait, there were like Formula One stickers?
Yeah, the whole album. For every season, there's like, you had stickers with the drivers and the engineers. And
don't they do that for football too?
They do.
That's cool.
It was a big thing when I was a kid.
Do they still do it? I want Formula One stickers.
I have no idea if they still do it for. I know that they will do it for the World Cup next year.
Yeah.
But
I definitely know they
idea.
still do. I've seen like kids with their like soccer stickers.
Yeah, I left it outside, but was not allowed to go outside at night to go get it back. And then when I wake up the next morning and go outside, it's just paper shreds.
How many years of stickers were?
That was just that year's.
Oh, okay. So that's
albums was like 1992.
So you probably had some Senna stickers in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I also had 91 albums. So like it. You know, it's fine. It just got ripped apart.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mauricio Gugelmin was a Brazilian driver, and I think he left Formula One after that. It's probably because of this.
It's because of you.
Mm-hmm.
You did it.
Yeah, and I never told anyone. So this is my official apology to Mauricio Gugelmin.
Sorry.
I'm very sorry that my friend Chihuahua is a dipshit.
Shall we yap about Silverstone?
I mean, if therapy hour is over, then yes.
I mean, I feel like it's going to continue to be therapy hour with this race.
Oh, yeah? Why? What happened that made you go through so many emotions?
I feel like we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Because how about we start with our one sentence?
Sure.
What is your one sentence to sum up the race?
My one sentence summary of Silverstone is: give it enough pressure, everyone's a clown.
We live that every day.
Yeah. We're always under a lot of pressure or just very fragile.
Yeah. Yes, all of the above.
Yeah.
Little column A, little column B.
Because everyone made mistakes in some way, shape, or form, except Hulkenberg.
Who was a perfect angel the entire race.
Who has never felt enough pressure in his life. But it was this, like... Russell made, I applaud the gambling that everybody did with when you stop and when you change tires, go back to intros, get the slicks and whatever. But many mistakes were made by everyone. Like Verstappen made a mistake, a non-hitting someone else mistake.
Rain is the great equalizer,
but it's not supposed to be. It is supposed to be. Well, it's supposed to be an equalizer.
Say torrential downpours because it wasn't just rain. They kept talking about rain of biblical proportions.
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, hold on.
This means
calm down.
This means that Hulkenberg is officially in the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah, he's officially
Saint Nico of Hulkenberg.
Yeah, like you don't see Verstappen making mistakes. Mercedes made a lot of bad calls.
Yeah.
People who were...
And Russell after the race was just like, we gambled, we lost.
Yeah, which, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just, Piastri made mistakes, Verstappen made mistakes, Russell made mistakes.
Piastri made mistakes.
Hamilton made mistakes in the rain, which is not... Verstappen made mistakes in the rain, which is not that much. Like, Norris made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It put the pressure on everyone, and almost everyone except for Nico Hulkenberg crumbled. That's my take, my one sentence summary of the race. What about you?
My one sentence summary is 10 seconds is a really long time. And we'll get to it in a second. But 10 seconds is a really long time.
It's a really long time.
It doesn't seem like it's a long time. 10 seconds is a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to murder someone.
Who?
Yes.
I don't think it's allowed to murder everyone.
Well,
one person maybe occasionally. Sure.
Well, let's get to what we learned.
Okay,
shall we? So
yeah, what did you learn?
I learned a couple of things. So the first thing I learned is that you can pit on a formation lap.
You can.
I didn't. This is the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah. Not very common, but yeah.
it is interesting because I was just like, where are they going? And they were just like, oh, like they're pitting. They're going to, because when the race started, it seemed like it was about to clear up. And they were like, you could hear over the comms, they were telling the drivers, rain's happening again in 10 to 15 laps and blah, 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 blah. So they were just like, okay, I'm putting slicks on like right now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good call, but I was just like, where are they going? So they started from the pit lane because they pitted on the formation lap.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out for them. Poor guys.
It was 7 people in total, right?
Yeah, it was, or something like that. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Because when they actually lined up to lights out and away we go, there was just like half the grid
gaps,
was empty.
All these gaps.
So that was cool. That was something that I learned. I also learned that life's not fair.
Wow.
So let's talk. Okay, before I get into this, because everybody knows, if you've listened, I am an Oscar Piastri fan. He's my favorite driver because I think he's amazing. Before I get into this, I want to say...
Wait, before we get into that, I have a question for you about the previous thing that you learned. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you know that if someone doesn't start from the grid for whatever reason, no one takes their place? So like,
I know that now.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you did because when they had the shot of like the grid with all the spots empty, I was kind of
everybody was still in their starting position.
I was half expecting you to be like, wait, no one's moving up to take the positions, so I could be ready with the answer, and you disappointed me.
Sorry,
but it's okay.
Gabe.
Yes.
Why weren't they moving up into filling in the grid?
Because they qualified their position. They don't qualify behind whoever's ahead of them.
Okay.
That's why.
Cool.
Thank you. So
feel better?
Wow.
Feel better me not knowing something and asking you questions?
I feel much better now.
So
anyway.
Before we get into the 10-second penalty, I just want to say I am very happy for Nico Hulkenberg.
Yes.
I was over the moon for him. It's funny that he got a Lego trophy. But he amazing race, 10 out of 10, no notes. I am so happy that he got his first podium in something like 239 starts or something crazy like that. It's Sauber's first podium in like 13 years. Wow.
Which is almost as long as he's been in Formula 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Because he started in 2010, so it's 15 years.
Yeah. Wow. So good for him. It was amazing seeing that green because I'm not a Sauber fan, especially like I like making fun of F1 stake team. Kick Sauber is like the worst name. But good for Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
He drove an amazing race. Yeah. Some things worked out in his favor. He stayed with it. I thought Hamilton was going to catch him, but then Hamilton did not catch him. Good for him. Getting that out of the way.
Now that the happiness is gone.
10 seconds? 10 seconds for what Oscar Piastri did? 10 seconds for braking after the safety car? That is egregious, and I was apoplectic with rage.
You felt really silent.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I was just like, every time I looked at the little red mark beside Piastri's name when he was still leading, and me knowing that like, there's no way he can win this race because Lando was like right behind him. If it was anybody else, if Lando was not right behind him, he could have, because he could have won this race by like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that 10-second penalty. But Lando was right behind him, something like 3 seconds behind him or something like that. So there was no way he could keep the lead with a 10-second penalty. Even with a 5-second penalty, they could have fought for it. Yeah. You know, like he would have taken the 5 seconds. He would have come in behind Lando. They were 30 seconds in front of everybody else. It was wild. So I knew he would, without barring any like mishaps and spin outs or like crashes, he was going to podium 1 or 2. But 10 seconds, Lando won the race then. And it's just, life's not fair.
It's the thing for me has, since it happened, has been the ringing echoes of Verstappen's 10-second penalty for hitting
George Russell on purpose.
And like, you know, I personally would say, yeah, he did it on purpose. But I understand that the burden of proof on the stewards is much higher than me with a microphone in front of me. So they did not find enough evidence to definitely prove that it was on purpose. So fine. Right? So like they never took that into account because the evidence does not point to it being doubtless that it was an accident or it wasn't purpose. Fine. But it was still at best extremely reckless move who damaged and risked another driver.
You're talking about Verstappen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he got a 10-second penalty, which doesn't make sense to me. And to have that be, because that's the standard for a 10-second now.
Yeah.
Right? And even though personally I do think that Piastri deserved a penalty, that was a pretty egregious braking. I understand it is up for interpretation, and like it was a risky, it was irresponsible.
I will give you that.
It wasn't reckless in the way that Verstappen was. But that's the thing, right? When you look at what Verstappen did and you look at what Piastri did, the fact that they get the same penalty to me is kind of, I can't wrap my head around it.
I was mad the entire race. I was so mad.
I was like, yeah, fine, get him a penalty. I also understand people who think that it was too harsh to give him a penalty to begin with.
I would have been okay with like maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah, that for me that would be it.
5-second penalty, but he got 10-second penalty and 2 points.
Yeah.
And what?
I'm also okay with the points.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah,
10 seconds. He was mad. He was mad.
So would you feel different about the 10 seconds if, I don't know, Verstappen had been disqualified when he hit Russell?
No.
Yeah, because that's the question that's been in my head this entire time. It's not, how much I think it was fair to Piastri I cannot judge that in the absolute. I can only judge it in relation to what happened to Verstappen and what he got for what he did.
Yeah, I guess I don't really. They got the same punishment for wildly different incidents, we'll say. But I think of it as like completely different things.
Yeah.
What I compare this to is when George Russell did the same thing. I think it was Montreal. Yeah, and got nothing for it. I know that he didn't break as much, and you're gonna say that Piastri broke like way more egregiously, which fine, cool, whatever. But it's kind of his right to set the pace, and he said that he wasn't trying to like catch Max out. He wasn't trying to like get Max to like pass him under safety car conditions and get in trouble. It's just that Max, because of the visibility, couldn't see shit. He just couldn't see that he was braking. And I mean, I don't think Max did anything wrong either.
No.
But even Max afterwards was like, I don't think he was trying to catch me out. He was just trying to slow down. And so I think it was a bad move on Piastri's part. I think he was trying to warm up his brakes. He was trying to like warm up the tires. There was some things he was trying to do. He probably shouldn't have done it in that way. But he wanted to set the pace so that then he could like get a running start at the beginning of that. I forgot which. I think it was Cops they were coming up on the turn they were coming up on. But he wanted to get to slow down right before that so he could take off. And 10 seconds was just what?
There's a few things for me that are, one, I didn't mean to counts for shit correctly. It doesn't count for, like, it doesn't matter. Oh my God, it was an honest mistake. An honest mistake doesn't matter. You still should get the exact same penalty as, I was being a little bit of a dipshit. I think the penalty should get increased if it's like, no, I did it on purpose. Right? Whether or not it was intentional risky behavior doesn't matter. It is doing it on purpose that is a different category in my head, at least. So he made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? He made a mistake. And
which he doesn't often do.
No. Put enough pressure, everyone's a clown.
Very true. And 10 seconds is a long time.
It's a long time.
We're both right.
Yeah.
Do you think they were trying to like make an example out of him?
I saw a lot of the talks about, Russell did that and Verstappen does that and nothing has happened. And even though I disagree that what Russell did in Montreal is the same, because I don't think it's the same at all, there's a part of me that goes, okay, but the fact that all of you did something stupid without getting caught is not the argument for it not being a crime. Right? Crime. Crime. It's not a crime. It's just it's a whatever. But that's not the I don't think that's a good argument for it was never punished until now, so why start now? Well, because it's clearly getting out of the way. Getting out of hand, out of the way. So maybe they want to set a precedent now. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was mad the whole time.
Fundamentally, I do think that we are still struggling. It has not been as bad as it was earlier this decade, but we are still struggling with extremely uneven
inconsistent,
stewardship.
Right?
Extremely inconsistent stewardship in races. And it's better. I commented to you during the race that I don't remember stewards' decisions being this questioned this often. And it's not even because social media is it is just a lot more questionable calls than I remember having in the past. So
yeah, it happened. 10 seconds. He came in second instead of first.
Does it bring you?
Not fair.
No. So does it bring you any? Maybe solace is not the right word because I don't think it's going to bring you any solace as a fan. But it's really hard to judge what would have happened based on what happened. Because the moment that he goes under investigation and the moment that he gets the 10-second penalty, everyone else who has a shot at first place starts driving a different race. So Lando's gap to Piastri cannot be gauged like, but if it was a 5-second, then he would only be 2 seconds behind. That's not because the moment that he gets the call, Piastri's on a 10-second penalty, he's driving a different race now. He's racing knowing that, so his space, his tire management, his pit stop strategy all gets influenced by knowing what's happening ahead of him, because it's one of the very few times in a race that they can actually predict the future or one aspect of the future. So maybe that helps you feel less subtracted from.
But even after the 10-second penalty, Piastri got within a few seconds of Lando again. So I was just like, oh, God, he's such a good driver.
He is. Yeah. He made a mistake.
My boy.
Your boy.
My boy.
He's your boy.
Look what they did to my boy. They made him so mad he couldn't even speak. So mad he couldn't speak. And afterwards, and you were... You didn't have nearly as much sympathy for him as I did.
No.
Because you were just like, that's some little bitch behavior. And
absolutely, yeah.
I'm like, I feel bad for him but it did suck for Hulkenberg because that was a weird podium.
But also, who cares?
He's happy.
Not to detract. That was really nice to see Hulkenberg at the podium or whatever. Yeah. But it's if somehow his memory of this day is impacted by that awkward cool down room, he needs to reassess his priorities.
There was a really cute moment in the cool down room because Nico Hulkenberg had never done that before.
No.
And he forgot to bring his helmet in to put it on the 1, 2, 3 little dais in the wall. And so Lando brought his helmet and put it in his spot. And I was just like, that's nice.
Okay, so did you see Verstappen's celebration of Hulk?
I saw that he posted about it on Instagram.
If when in the in lap after the race, right after the checkered flag, Verstappen catches up to Hulk, and he celebrates out of his own cockpit.
Aw.
In a very enthusiastic way. And I've mentioned to you before that I was in the same boat of like Max Verstappen is a dumbass, is a knucklehead,
Yeah.
extremely unlikable driver. He made a lot of effort to be unliked.
But now that he's married with 2 kids.
Yeah. And then you see that, and it's just like 4-time world champion, best driver on the grid, et cetera, all the accolades, right? Had a terrible race.
Yeah.
And takes the time to enthusiastically celebrate like guy from small team who has just been this journeyman who's been in and out of Formula 1 like 4 times.
Yeah.
Right. And it's these like very endearing Verstappen moments that we go, he's just he just likes driving.
Yeah.
He just likes racing.
I've been more and more endeared to Max Verstappen as the weeks have gone by, and I hate it for me.
Yeah, your arc has been much shorter than mine.
Yeah.
I took years.
I'm wondering if like this is the start of Oscar's villain arc. Because I'm here for that.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
Because
flames on the side of his face.
If nothing else, he showed amazing restraint. Which is both good and bad, because there's a part of me that goes like, I really wanted to see that man explode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been really funny to see.
But there was a moment in time during the race that I thought it was going to be a Lando Piastri Lance Stroll podium. That 7 or 8 laps where Lance Stroll was in the third before Hulkenberg overtook it. But I have never been as much of a Hulkenberg fan as when he overtook Lance Stroll. Because if it had been a Lando Piastri Stroll podium, I probably would have thrown something.
But what if one day we get to see another Lance Stroll pole position? Another.
I don't think so.
But it might happen.
Did you hear about what he said at the end of the race?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. So I saw this afterwards, and we can move on after this. I'm sorry, but after the race, you know how people will be talking to their teams and being like, "This wasn't our day, but good job, thanks for everything." They were saying something to him about like it was rough time out there, Lance, and he was like, "Yeah, this is the biggest piece of shit car I've ever driven," and was just like an absolute dick. As living up to the Lance Stroll is a miserable human along with a miserable race car driver. And I was just like, I already don't like him.
I was going to say more than the other races, but I'm not sure that's true. But you seem to have had a lot of driver-specific emotions this race.
I was already raw. Because Oscar was wronged.
Yeah, because like even recording this now, all of your takes have been like, this driver that I have opinions on did a thing that either reinforces or goes against my opinions of this driver.
Yes.
So you seem to be really in your therapy era of Formula 1.
I mean, I'm always in my therapy era. I did have therapy right before this. So maybe that's why I am very in tune with my emotions right now.
Okay. Maybe not for the episode, but did it come up?
No.
Did Oscar Piastri come up?
No, Oscar Piastri did not come up in my therapy. But that would be hilarious. Talking to my therapist, and she's like, "What's wrong with you? What's going on today?" And I'm like, "Well, there was this F1 race on Sunday, and I just haven't been the same."
There's this Australian boy. He's 24
years old, and he got really mad. And I can't get over it. No, that's
what
not
an emotional race.
Yeah, it was a fun race though. Silverstone was my first Silverstone.
Yeah. And
it lived up to the this is a racer's race.
Yeah.
And it was raining, which was very England.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been complaining, but it was fun to watch.
It was a very fun race.
I wish that Hamilton had podiumed, but I'm glad that Hulkenberg podiumed.
Yeah. It was there were a lot of really good podiums that could have been, and we got one of them.
We got one of them.
So, hey, it's a good race. Very good.
Should we get to is there intrigue? Because I don't really have very much intrigue, and that's okay.
So, no, the interesting thing is that this race seems, all of the interesting things seem to have happened on track.
Yeah.
Right?
Which hasn't really been the case.
No, because you always have these kind of like fallout for the days after of what is going to happen. And we're just like, wow, that was a great race. And it ended.
Yep. And the stuff that everybody's talking about is like stuff that happened when people were in their cars. Yeah.
Nico Hulkenberg, Piastri being very mad. So it seems like we're going to have a quiet week.
Maybe.
In terms of, intrigue and things.
Because next is Spa, right?
Next is Spa.
My
favorite track.
Your favorite track? Yeah. I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, man. I live just for Eau Rouge and Rodion.
Are those turns?
Yeah, they're the second and third turn.
Nice.
I
will be happy to watch it.
Yeah.
So no real intrigue. That's fine. For our intrigue, did you see the video of Nico Hulkenberg's daughter when he won?
No.
It is hilarious and adorable because she's 3 or 4 or something like that, and she's watching it on television and she's just squealing. It's so cute, and I don't even like children.
Yeah.
But it's just she's like, Daddy, and it's just very, very sweet. But probably German. It was just Fausa. I don't know what German. It's very cute.
It is, good.
Yeah.
The fact that being both Nico, who's by all accounts nice guy, liked by everyone, has been on this long career, who could have been a lot of different things, ended up being what it is, and then for me, but also I think other people of my tenure, Sauber, man.
Yeah.
Sauber's cool. I like it. It lives, it has a very special place in my heart as this tiny team that has always kind of held on and has done great things, right?
It used to be Renault, right?
No, Sauber has always been Sauber.
Oh, Sauber.
Yeah.
What used to be Renault?
Alpine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Alpine's been 14 million different things.
Yeah. So Sauber has always been Sauber, up until next year.
Yeah.
But going out as they are going out now, after the 20 odd year, no more, 30 years in Formula One, 30 something years in Formula One. They're going out on in a year that everybody was like, you're gonna suck this year because no one's gonna be working on this car because you're gonna be preparing for Audi next year.
Yep.
And no, they turn it around.
Yep.
Scoring more points than Red Bull for the last 4 or 5 races or whatever it is.
Wild.
Got Nico's podium. It feels really nice. If this is how Sauber goes out, it makes me happy.
Yeah. And Mercedes sent them a huge thing of champagne to their paddock because they didn't have champagne ready.
Yeah.
Because why would they? And so Mercedes, very classy move, sent them a whole thing. And it's kind of funny because you actually watch a Mercedes guy, in the Mercedes livery, bringing them this huge box full of champagne, and then they were just like, it's great. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, no, so very nice. It made a lot of people very happy.
Yeah,
and that's good.
Yeah. Should we get to our championship awards?
Yeah.
To make everyone even happier.
Yeah, because maybe Nico's gonna get something else now.
Maybe.
Wow, what a weekend for him.
Because the most important thing,
yeah,
is getting the Finding the Wall championship awards.
He's sitting at home right now with his trophy, just thinking about whether or not he's gonna get something from Finding the Wall.
Well, our very first one is anger management. Ask me,
Jessica. For the Finding the Wall Award of Anger Management for the British Grand Prix 2025, who is your winner?
Glad you asked. Surprisingly, my winner is Oscar Piastri.
Really?
For all the reasons we have been talking about for the past 40 minutes. Oh, yeah. I can't imagine how red his face was in that little helmet.
Angriest man in the world.
Angriest man in the world. He could not even speak. there was probably like actual steam coming out from the side of his ears. I can't imagine how mad he was, but he was so mad. He was so mad. Like we've I won't go into the whole thing again because we've already talked about it. But I mean, who else can get the anger management award unless you have somebody else?
So I have a beautiful quote for my anger management award, and the quote is sheer, complete, absolute silence from one Oscar the Piastri.
Yeah.
Who was just like, just seething.
Yeah. This seething is the best word.
Seething. He was seething. Being very mad, not talking in interviews, not talking to, and he said something today, I think, that like kind of both him and Lando have been very good at not getting in at each other's throats.
Yeah.
And not that he did something to Lando or anything like that, but like he had a quote today that now of course I forgot, but just kind of being out and like, yeah, no, congrats to Lando, he did nothing wrong, you know, it happens, whatever. So yeah, but he was angriest man in the world.
Yeah.
For those, I don't know, a couple of hours maybe.
Yeah.
But he was the angriest
man in the world. Probably a little longer, because even afterwards he wasn't talking about like, oh, the race didn't go the way I wanted it to. Yeah. He said the race didn't go the way I deserved. And I was just like, he mad. He is very mad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Oscar Piastri.
Yep. You won something.
We hope we heal your wounds with this award.
we didn't.
Nah. He's young.
He is.
There'll be more wounds.
What about most cursed?
Most cursed.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to not give out this award based on you know the whole body of work for a driver, but indirect Antonelli.
Oh, yeah.
And it is influenced by his streak at this point of being cursed. I think
I feel
this
really
is
bad for him.
I think this is the third time that I personally just gave it to him.
Yeah. And it did not finish yet again.
Mercedes
was not his fault yet again.
It's that, right? Mercedes made no good calls the whole weekend, but he was there. He was trying. Tough race, very different like strategy calls. Cannot be easy for a 18-year-old who's first year in Formula One to be able to to be on top of all the things that he needed to manage and all the calls that he needed to make.
Yeah, because
rain races are the ones where drivers have the most amount of autonomy over what happens, like when they stop, why they stop, what do they do, what kind of tire they go on to. So I'm assuming that he was having already a very stressful race, because remember, he skipped F2, right? Like he doesn't, because all the other rookies went through F3 and F2, so they have.
So that's why he's so young.
He's very young. He skipped the lower categories, so cannot. And then someone just rear hands him.
Yeah,
and
was not his fault.
Race, and in the coattails and everything, it was Hadjar.
Oh, another one that didn't finish the race.
No.
Did any rookies finish this race?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it gets you. Silverstone will get you.
Mm-hmm. So
Silverstone in the rain.
Silverstone in the rain will get you. So yeah, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. I'm starting to feel for him.
Yeah.
Even though I try not to feel anything about any driver, I'm starting to feel for him.
I feel for the drivers. A little too much today.
What about you?
My most cursed is Oscar Piastri.
Oh, really?
10 seconds. 10 seconds is a really long time.
Okay, but do you think that it's a little bit of like, oh no, the consequences of my mistakes?
No.
Oh.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like I said before, if he would have gotten some of a penalty, sure. But 10 seconds, come on.
It's a long time.
10 seconds is a long time.
When he pulled into the pits and there was one of the mechanics that just had his hand on on his hips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I want a photo of that.
It is so long that a guy was just chilling.
Yeah, they're literally just sitting there like waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting.
One of them just like hands on his waist, being like, okay, when we're 3 seconds away, I'm going to get my hands out of my waist and like do something. But up until then, I'm just going to be chilling here. Probably had a cigarette in his mouth. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll work when I have to.
What about your Cuntiest comms?
Easiest goddamn call.
Yeah.
The easiest goddamn call, because the Cuntiest comms, by far, bar none, in my opinion, is, and I quote, "I don't think the penalty before was very fair. I know it's a big question, but if you don't think it was fair either, I think we should swap back and race."
Yep. And somebody asked, so of course that was Oscar Piastri asking to like change the race order at the very end, and they didn't let him do it. Like they didn't do it. No. They weren't going to do it. But Zach Brown was asked about that, and after the race, he was like, "Of course he asked for it. Yeah. Why wouldn't he ask for that?"
He did the thing that he had to do. Mm-hmm. It is just that the thing that he had to do was the bitchiest thing that could have possibly be done.
That's what made you like think Oscar Piastri was going into bitch mode, because this is especially when he asked for this, and you were just like, "What are you doing? No."
Yeah, it's a deranged request.
You don't get 100% of the race swaps you don't ask for.
Yeah. In his shoes, I would have done the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. It is a deranged thing to ask for.
And he said it in the calmest, most serial killer voice.
Yeah. Maybe a self-awareness.
Maybe.
That's just like, I can't believe I'm going to have to say, and everybody's take has been, you have to ask.
You have to ask.
Like, yeah.
Of course.
But unhinged.
Of course they're not going to do it.
No, there's no reason to do it. Imagine if you're Lando, you get the call. Lando, swap back and race.
And Lando would just have been like, "No."
Yeah. Like, no.
Absolutely not.
What? No.
Yeah. I was just like, "All right, Oscar."
Yeah. And the cool thing, to your point of maybe this is his villain origin story, it's the second race in a row that he gets Cuntiest comms for bitch-like behavior.
Well, my Cuntiest comms also goes to Oscar Piastri.
Really?
But for a different comms.
Oh, which one?
Yeah. So after they told him that he had the 10-second penalty, and the engineer was telling him, like, "You have a 10-second penalty. I'm sorry. Like, we'll talk about this after the race." Mm-hmm. And he said, "Yep. I think I'll get banned for the year if I say anything here. So I'm just not going to say anything."
Yeah.
But he did say, and this is why I love Oscar Piastri, at the end of that, he said, "At least Hulkenberg got a podium."
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody liked that.
Yep. Everybody liked that.
Yeah, which is the kind of, cooling that maybe there's a world out there where Lance Stroll is in that cool down room. And we have a very different, and we have a less happy
just
world.
A fist fight. Just a fist fight, and I would be here for it. I'd be like, "Come on, throw an elbow, something. Like, throw an elbow."
It's a less happy world, but by God, it's a cool one.
Throw an elbow, please. Come on, Oscar. And then, like, Oscar and Lando could, like, just gang up on him.
Yeah.
3 tiny men, because all of these dudes
three
are really
three
small.
twinks getting into a fist fight.
It would be like a cartoon. This would have been great. Grab the helmets just...
I want to live in this reality where there was this big happiness spike that affected everybody. But I would like the pay-per-view for this other reality where the race was exactly the same.
Yeah.
But Lance got the third spot.
This is somebody's fan fiction.
Yeah, pay-per-view.
This is somebody's fan fiction on AO3. Okay, so best overtake. Who's your best overtake?
Oh.
There was actually a lot to choose from. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite overtake was lap 18.
Oh.
Lewis Hamilton on Russell and Behrman
at
the same time into Village.
Yeah.
And
that was great.
And the thing is, it made me comment to you during the race that I feel kind of sad that you joined the Formula One band.
Right.
After the Lewis Hamilton era seems to be over.
Yeah.
Because that man is spectacular.
Yeah.
And he's even more spectacular in the rain. And getting to see like that kind of overtake.
That was exciting.
2 people at once into Village. Like it was beautiful. And I had this like, Oh man, I remember watching. I remember being very mad at the domination because the thing that no one wants watching a race is to know what's going to happen. And during those years, you just knew what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But man, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
And it was really good to see him like show
being
that.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Because right after this race, we actually watched.
Yeah.
What was it? The 2000 okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We watched the 2008 race and watched Lewis Hamilton win the championship.
His first one.
His first championship. That was a good race.
Yeah.
Those cars were weird looking.
Oh, they were ugly as hell.
Yeah, they were.
Ugh. Anyway, what was your favorite overtake?
So my best overtake, there were so many to choose from. But it's Oscar Piastri over Max Verstappen right at the beginning of the race.
I hope I see where this is going.
So the very beginning of the race, Verstappen's in first and Oscar's in second. And then he overtook him and I forgot which. I mean, it was like at the very, very beginning, and I forgot which corner, but it was very beautiful. And then I was just like, "Oh, Oscar's got this!
Yeah,
yay!" And it was very nice.
It was a very good
in the rain.
Very good overtake.
Yeah,
he started to pull away.
Yeah. And then he was gone.
He was gone.
And I was like, "Oh, well, like Verstappen did amazingly in qualifying, like did amazingly. So maybe he'll be able to keep up with him." No. Yeah. Like Oscar was like 3 seconds ahead of him in like 2 laps. It was wild.
Yeah, but you know, the setup for the qualifying hurt him. So
yeah,
that's that.
That's true.
All right. So I think there's only one left now.
Yeah. It's the best wall found.
What was the best wall found from the Hit Podcast Finding the Wall?
Okay, so I have a runner-up, and then I have the winner.
Tell me.
So my runner-up, they didn't actually hit the wall, but it was so beautiful. It was when the Haas cars were spinning out at the exact same time, and it was like a ballet where they were just it looked choreographed. Yeah. It was really cool, and I'm so glad that both of the drivers were fine and the cars were also kind of fine. But it was wild to watch. Yeah. It was really beautiful.
It was great. Great runner-up.
Yeah.
What was your first place, though?
My first place is Oscar Piastri. He hit the wall of the FIA inconsistency.
Damn.
Yes.
Breaking through the glass ceiling.
He didn't win the race, so I had to give him every single one of my championship
and he deserved
awards.
It.
He did.
He did.
He 100% deserves it because...
Because what?
His life's not fair.
Yeah. Maybe he should know that by now.
He should.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your best wall found?
Mine is the Haas.
Oh, yay.
That was mine because it was nice.
It was so cool.
Pretty, yeah.
And they got it like when it was happening too, because it wasn't the replay.
No.
We were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I've seen memes where they've put it to music.
Yeah.
That
no, it was really nice.
It's really cool.
I think I've seen that happen before. I don't remember, but yeah, it's still really cool.
It was wild because it was 2 Haas cars, so the cars look identical.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's wild.
Yeah, and I was rewatching it, and I was just trying to figure out who made the mistake, and I don't know who made the mistake, but I'm glad that one of them got too aggressive, so that we got to witness that beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little dance.
Damn! Congratulations to Oscar Piastri.
Yep.
The only winner of the British Grand Prix.
In my heart.
In your heart.
Yeah. And the Lando stand was there, and Lando won, and he went out to like give them all like shirts.
Yeah.
Out of the shirt cannon.
A lot of people cried. Nico cried. Yeah. No, Nico cried in his radio. Lando cried in his radio.
Yeah, because this is home race. I mean, I do like Lando Norris. He's not my boy, but I do like Lando Norris. But I hope that Oscar won that because Lando won Oscar's home Australian race. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I hope Oscar wins.
Payback, bitch.
Yeah. And it would have happened in 10 seconds. It's a long time. 10 seconds is like the longest time. So, yeah.
You know what this means, right?
What?
This means that Oscar is now highly incentivized to just hit Lando on the track because it's gonna be the same thing.
No.
So he can just
Don't
hit
do
him.
it. Don't do that. I mean, maybe. 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
So might as well get him out of the race. Why
Don't
not?
put that out into the universe. But yeah. Oh,
You're giving me this warning as if I'm not actually manifesting that to happen. Oh no, yeah, I would definitely not want that to happen.
think about 1992. This is why the Brazilian driver did not win. It's because of your
okay.
You
My
lost
album.
your sticker book.
I lost my sticker book.
So you have some sort of weird power. So don't put out into the world.
Okay, if I do find a Oscar Piastri sticker, I will keep it very far away from any chihuahuas.
Yes. Give it to me.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Because I like stickers and I like Oscar Piastri. So
Right.
this is
If I find one, I'm gonna give it to you and not give it to a chihuahua.
yeah. And that was Silverstone.
That was Silverstone.
There were probably lots of things that happened that we didn't talk about, but
such a great race.
yeah, it was a really good race. I do want to end on this.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really nice moment when Lando was giving people the shirts out of his shirt cannons, and he was mic'd. And he reached down because one of the PAs, every time he would shoot a shirt and then a PA would hand him a different one. So he had to bend down to like grab it. And he made the old man groan sound. Yeah, he was like, ugh, when he was getting back up. And I was just like, one of us, one of us, one of us. So that was very funny to me because he's only 25.
Yeah. Yeah. If it was Leclerc, I would have understood. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Leclerc would not have gotten back up.
No.
It's like, no.
That man is broken on every level. Emotionally, physically, Yeah. And that was Silverstone.
That was Silverstone. What a great time.
It was a great
What
time.
a great race.
It was a great race.
Damn. Problem one is cool. I like it a lot better when I don't have to justify it to people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get like, oh, do you like it? Yeah, some races are shit. And I have to justify my hobby. And sometimes I'll just watch this.
Why do you have to justify it? Just be like, no, Formula One's great.
Because I invited them
love
over. Remember, you're the only person who I've ever converted.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes I invite people over to watch and, it's Monaco.
How surprised and excited were you when I actually liked it?
Very. I was very surprised.
Because I don't think I picked up on this at the time because I was just like, woo, vroom, vroom, cars.
Yeah. No.
Cars make brain go burr.
Yeah, because it was literally, I was coming over here for some, whatever. We were going
to do something else, but you were like, qualifying's happening.
And I was like, I just really want to watch qualifying. But I can't, sit on the couch for an hour with my phone. But they were like, no, put it on the TV. And I was like, all right, And then you got fixated.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Hyper-fixated, one might say, with my neurodivergence.
Yeah. I do not understand, but you worked.
It worked and it's good.
But yeah, like, imagine if, I had actively invited you to go watch Montreal. I'd have to apologize afterwards, but I invited you to watch this one.
Because I just watched qualifying. It was qualifying for Bahrain.
But qualifying is almost always exciting.
Qualifying is cool. It was good.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I would like the sport no matter which one I started with. That's probably wrong, but in my head, it's right. You know what else is right?
Oscar Piastri.
Yes. Also.
Oh, what else?
The fact that I have another podcast.
You do. Tell me more.
So in my day job, I work in video games, and I have a video game podcast called Stupid Little Games, where we talk about all things gaming from the inside out. And each week I sit down with various insiders from the game industry. We talk about our current gaming obsessions. We tell stories from projects past and present. And then we play a stupid little game that I write specifically for each guest. So you should search for Stupid Little Games wherever you get your podcasts.
Wow.
Seamless transition.
That is a beautiful transition into that other podcast. But you want to know about this podcast?
After I tell people to like and subscribe. You were almost there.
I was almost there.
You almost there.
Okay, tell me more.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And a review goes a really, really long way because we're still a new podcast. So like, subscribe, review. We really appreciate it. And you can follow me on Blue Sky. I am caketease.bsky.social. And you cannot follow Gabe because he's on fuck all.
If you follow me, I will slam the brakes. And I will not serve the penalty afterwards. So... you have been warned.
Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect.
Can I go through my segue
Yes,
now?
please.
All right. Well, you said a lot of very good things about the other podcast,
Yeah.
but you want to know about this podcast?
I would love to know about this podcast.
This podcast is part of the Stupid Little Podcast Network. It is hosted and edited by Gabe Koski and Jess Purdue. The theme music is by the super talented Baird Russell. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next round.
See you after Spa.
Great times.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.